Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel where I'll be reviewing key lessons and presenting them in bite-sized formats for you, my audience. Today, we'll be taking a look at the key lessons on success according to the book The Psychology of Money. This is an overview of what will be covered today. Firstly, I will share a bit of background information about the book before delving into three key lessons on success from different chapters of the book: luck and risk, tails you win, and confounding compounding. But first, a short introduction to the author and the book. Morgan Housel is a financial writer and partner at the Collaborative Fund, widely respected for his ability to turn complex ideas about investing and human behavior into simple, relatable stories. He has written extensively on the psychology behind financial decision-making, exploring how emotions, biases, and personal experiences shape the way people handle money. His book, The Psychology of Money, has become a modern classic in personal finance. Rather than focusing on technical strategies or formulas, it delves into the timeless truths of money, how people think about it, why they make certain choices, and what really matters in the pursuit of wealth and happiness. Through 19 short stories filled with anecdotes and insights, Housel shows that managing money is less about knowledge and more about behavior, patience, and perspective. So the first lesson we will be looking at today is on luck and risk. Take a look at these two men. Do you recognize the both of them? Well, the man on the left is pretty recognizable. He is Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, one of the largest technology companies in the world. The other man on the right is his childhood friend, Ken Evans, who tragically died in a mountaineering accident when he was only 17 years old. Both Bill and Ken attended the same school and were incredibly smart teenagers and had huge ambitions for the future. The only difference was that one was incredibly lucky, while the other was terribly unfortunate. While Bill experienced once-in-a-million luck by attending one of the only high schools in the world with a computer in the 1970s, Kent experienced a one-in-a-million risk while climbing Mount Shushan. From the story of Bill and Kent, we can learn that the success and failure are not just dependent on one's natural ability and hard work, but also influenced by extraneous factors over which we humans have zero control over. However, we often focus on the things that we can control, blaming ourselves for failing by not trying hard enough or being overly arrogant over our own natural abilities, thinking that we have a natural knack for success. There are three key takeaways from this. Firstly, rather than striving for perfection, focus on progress instead. Also, rather than tying your self-worth to binary outcomes, instead reflect on the progress that you have made and the opportunities to pivot into new areas if you are unsatisfied with the current path you are heading towards. Lastly, never give up, as you never know when your next breakthrough will come. This provides a nice segue into our second lesson, where you can be wrong half the time and still make a fortune. Meet Walt Disney, the man who turned a mouse into a global empire. Life was not smooth sailing for Walt though. He experienced a roller coaster of ups and downs before creating the behemoth company that Disney has become today. Here is a brief timeline of his life. In 1919, Walt was fired from the Kansas City Star newspaper for lacking imagination and good ideas. He then proceeded to found his own company, Laugh-O-Gram Studios, which also went bankrupt within a year and left him heavily in debt. Not giving up, Walt founded another company in 1923 with his brother Roy. They created a character, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, which was actually stolen by his distributor alongside most of his team. Starting from scratch, Disney debuted Mickey Mouse in 1929, one of the first cartoons with synchronized sound. It became an instant hit with the global audience. Riding on its success, Disney risked everything to produce Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Critics initially dubbed it as Disney's Folly, but it became the first full-length animated feature and also a global success. Following Snow White, the company struggled financially after ambitious projects such as Fantasia and Pinocchio initially failed at the box office, but wartime contracts and re-releases saved the studio. In 1955, Disneyland's opening day was a chaotic disaster with broken rides, counterfeit tickets, and plumbing issues, but the park soon became a beloved icon. In 1956, Walt passed away before seeing the completion of Walt Disney World, but his vision and legacy carried on through his company's continued growth today. Despite all the setbacks and shortcomings, success actually comes easier than you think. These two charts show that investing in the stock market is positively skewed towards positive results. Growing your wealth is a very achievable outcome simply by starting to invest today. Therefore, the key takeaways from this chapter of Tails You Win are to be bold and make committed decisions. You don't stand a chance of winning if you don't buy a lottery ticket. Secondly, returns are tilted towards winners rather than losers, so never be afraid to try. Lastly, you can be wrong half the time and still make a fortune. It doesn't take a genius to be successful, just someone consistent, deliberate, and not afraid to fail. Even though you may not see immediate results, you will see in this next chapter that these results will show up eventually one day and will appear suddenly and magically in the future. Warren Buffett bought his first stock at 11 years old, but here's the surprising fact that not many people know. 99.7% of his wealth came after the age of 52. This phenomenon is known as the effect of compounding, which Albert Einstein calls the eighth wonder of the world. Oftentimes, our brains underestimate and are unable to visualize the effects of compounding, so here is a simple chart to illustrate this snowball effect. Initially, Buffett's wealth gradually increased as he invested in high-quality companies within his circle of competence. Suddenly, at the age of 53, his wealth skyrocketed 10 times to over $620 million and has risen exponentially to a staggering $85 billion when Buffett turned 88 years old. By sticking to his investment principles, avoiding taking leverage, and remaining patient, Buffett became one of the richest people in the world today. This slide summarizes the key takeaways we can learn from Buffett and his investment principles. Firstly, consistency is more important than occasional brilliance. As I mentioned earlier, you don't have to be a genius to be successful. You just have to be consistent and not afraid of experiencing setbacks. Secondly, find what clicks, stick with it, and do it daily. Find something that you are passionate about and that you enjoy doing, and do it consistently every day until you start to see results. Lastly, focus on what could be, not what is. Adopt a long-term mindset and do not be discouraged by a lack of progress, as true growth rewards patience. These are the key takeaways that I would like to leave you with. If you find my content useful and interesting, please like and subscribe and comment on what other topics you would like me to cover. Until next time, stay curious and stay inspired.